Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Welcome out, y'all. This is the Remix Morning Show. We doing it right here, bringing you that boom back breakfast. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and yo, it's time to get this thing started. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Hope y'all ready for a good week. But let me not speak without speaking of no other than Dr. Jerry Ball.
Yeah, what's up, good people? What's up, Ear Doctor? Remixers.
Good.
Peace, greetings, grand risings. Lisa, Angela, Leah, Alex, Chitty Matcha, and featuring
Jackie
and
Lukeman. I was getting to it.
I was like, come on, man, get the cue.
Yeah.
That's
What's
my
up,
DJ.
Karangla? What's that dog's name again?
Oh Lord. Come on,
Camacho.
man. Come on, man.
All right. My bad. See, I started off on the wrong foot with Jackie already. Listen,
You sure did, and
Jackie,
I appreciate that she took that breath.
you look marvelous today, Jackie.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm just gonna say thank you because I know you're trying to redeem yourself, and that's
The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. Nice. Well, listen, we got the crew up in here today. We got some a great weekend. I hope y'all had, and y'all here today. How was your weekend, first, Jackie?
no comment.
Okay, that sounds great.
It was busy as usual. It was busy. It was pretty busy. Went to the
Stay.
ALD, the DC African Liberation Day celebration. Table there for a few hours, yes, table there for pretty much half the day. It was large, Palestinian contingent. It was really cool that they had Palestinians, rolling up and supporting African Liberation Day, and that was real dope. So that was cool. And then rolled up to Baltimore and things, and then came home this Sunday. That's what that was. I don't know what I did Saturday. I can't tell you.
Hey, a lot of us can't remember yesterday. What about you, Jared?
I had a very good weekend, actually. So Saturdays with Renee, of course, and some soccer with my daughter. And I hung out with the EYL crew, and
That's right.
And I had a great time Sunday. I had a great time. And
how was the live?
Other than some audio issues, and about an 8-minute window where everything was pretty cool, and I actually had a really good time, and hung out with Dr. Dennis Winkler a little bit at his spot after the event, and had some good vegan soul food, and the crowd was nice. Shout out to Nomu and to Bab and to Paka and to the out-of-towners that came through. And I did not say this at the event, so I need to say it now. Shout out to Dr. Mingo, Diallo's wife, who did a lot of the groundwork to make the event run smoothly, relatively. And I did discover, I do think I found out exactly what the mic issue was that messed up with the crowd. So when you go and watch the live, you can't really hear the crowds, the mic that the audience has too well.
Oh, they had a mic?
Yeah, we actually had we got a new wireless mic set up. That's actually pretty fly. And I think if I had caught one error in the initial setup, we would have been perfect. But I didn't catch it until on the way home.
Yeah.
I
seen that a little bit. I was like, they need cordless mics to pass around.
Yeah, we had that. It wasn't that we didn't think of it. It was that we didn't get the setup exactly. We did prepare. Stop it, man. It was just a mistake. It was just a little mistake.
Hey, I mean, my sound was messed up a little bit too on the I did a little bit of live at the Malcolm X Festival. As you can see my shirt, I like to always
I saw that.
People change.
Wow.
Youth don't give up on them, or youth. So yeah, it was nice out there. It was like a family reunion as usual. Ran into BAP ATL down there.
You don't say.
Musa, ran into Musa.
Yes.
And some other people. And people was like, yo, man, y'all keep going. We love what y'all doing over there. So a lot of shout outs for Black Power Media. And yeah, it was good. And then I got to go to my daughter's graduation yesterday. And man,
congratulations!
Listen,
how was that?
Principals list, all A's. I was like, man, you get a lot of your brain from your mom because all A's. God damn.
I was not going to comment on that one.
Oh, please do. But no, it was good. And then took her out to eat, and girl always orders the most expensive stuff on the menu. I was like, whoever she's dating later in life, I hope you got a good job.
Hold up. Wait, real quick, because I just found it. Hold on. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. You know, it's a team effort. Her mom, her grandmom, me, and her brother. We all make sure she on point. So it was good. Great time.
Nice.
Yes.
No, that's what's up. So the busy weekend for everybody. And
just got even now. He said he
even the
30.
Even the he should have a story to tell. The text we got from him was wild. I said, Kamal, I need some help with something. He said, man, I don't have time for you. I'm in a rally surrounded by police. And then just left us hanging.
That's it. We was like, yo,
you all right? You good? And then it was like, so he just was, he was like, I guess basically saying, I'll let you all know Tuesday morning.
And I seen him on Instagram getting his Malcolm X on. I was like, this dude,
absolutely,
this dude be out here preaching
with the megaphone and no phone in front of him. No phone in front of him.
Yeah, so he was out there doing this thing, man. Especially for the whole Malcolm X. Did y'all do any talking about Malcolm X?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as we were constantly and I think appropriately reminded, and I just had to acknowledge another flawed bias, but that we also were paying tribute and homage to Ho Chi Minh, Yuri Kochiyama, Lorraine Hansberry, but yeah, all of them got mentioned. All of them, for the most part, certainly at our event, and as I'm sure where you were, there was the centerpiece. That was the foundation of the discussion.
Because going around, what I did on the live is, which I wish I could have did over, but what I did on the live is I just went around and asked people, what does Malcolm X mean to you? And I think the biggest thing everybody was saying was freedom and by any means necessary, like to get whatever you need to get done. So that was the ongoing theme for the day. Had dances, had bands playing, DJs playing, people out there doing the line dances. It was spectacular.
Excuse me.
And by the way, yesterday I had a great conversation with Hiram about the politics of the Tyson Paul fight. And then today at 11, we got Dr. Sean Utsi talking about the state of Black Studies. He's the chair at Black Studies at VCU. So all of this stuff is continuing. And then Yeah, so everybody make sure you had the bell rung because a lot of stuff coming up on the
They
platform.
saying your mic right now is a little bit loud. It seems like you got it closer than regular.
I'm loud.
Maybe
I haven't done one thing different, but I can make an adjustment here.
just a little bit. Just what would you say, Jackie? A little loud.
It's a little
Is that
loud.
all right? All right.
Yeah.
Is that better? Is that better? Is that better?
That's a little better.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Jackie, you got your mic over there?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Oh, Jackie,
What?
I love
What?
your dog. I love your dog. I don't want no beef.
What? Oh, what
I love
happened?
it. She's like, yes.
Oh no.
I don't care. Listen, could you say your dog's name one more time? I'm never gonna mess it up again.
Yes, you will, but that's
Oh,
okay. It's Kimathi. Kimathi.
Kimathi. Okay, that's
Mhm.
like Kim, Ma'at, and then Thi is like.
Oh, wow.
However you gotta
Or
remember it. Or
Daydan Kimati, the Mau Mau
the
leader.
Mau Mau. That's
Oh, okay. Well, see, I
Yeah.
gotta pick up my Mau history. So
Mm.
be on point.
Mm.
And with
And-
admittedly a petty shout out to what happened over the weekend. He was a good Catholic. Just putting that out there.
What did he do so good?
He led a
What did he do
revolution.
so
What you mean? What did he do
good?
so
Oh my
good?
God.
Everybody out here that's listening do not even know. You act like y'all the only y'all the only
first of
ones
all,
in the world.
No. We identified him as a Mau Mau leader. So I thought
Okay.
that was beyond that. It was self-evident. But he led the Kenyan, was a leader of the Kenyan land and freedom movement, dubbed Mau Mau, likely by the British.
There we
One
go.
account I read, they said, I don't know if this is true. Somebody can correct me, Jackie, the chat, or sure the chat. But I read at one point years ago that Mau Mau is actually it originates from the flawed British attempt to understand what the Kiswahili language was, the words for out that the people were
Right.
saying, Uma Uma, right?
Right. And they
Uma
said,
Uma, and then it became Mau Mau in the ears of
Right.
the British, but it meant get out.
Get out of here. Mau Mau. See? That's what I'm gonna start yelling at people, yo. Like, Mau Mau. What you talking about? Get out.
Yeah, they never called themselves the Mau Mau movement because of course they knew like what the fuck are they talking about?
Mau Mau.
But that's what happened. Another bastardization of what Africans were telling the Europeans. But they couldn't pronounce it, so they just called it something else, and it stuck.
So they had to try to demonstrate in another way,
right,
what they meant.
Right. See, I ask these questions for the audience. You know,
I know.
So
We know you know,
We
and we
know.
appreciate that.
I mean, you know, not everybody knows these
I
big words. out here.
kid, doctor. I
Y'all
kid.
be using some big ass words
From
boy.
the Morris Brown.
The Morris Brown. Let's get it straight. All right. So I guess we could go ahead and get into our first break, and then we could come back and we could talk about what's going on in this crazy world of ours. So let's go ahead and get that together and do it right here, right now, on no other than the Remix Morning is show. Down by law. Down by law. Y'all know nothing about that. That's MC Shan. Big up to MC Shan down here doing this thing. Yo, Juice Crew, big up. Yo, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank y'all for tuning in right here, right now. This is the Remix Morning Show. Please, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. And if you are old here, well, not old, but if you're seasoned or vintage here, please hit that like button. And also go to patreon.com, become a member over there. We dropping some new things over there this week, so get ready for that. And also like, share, subscribe, all that. I just said all that. All right, well, just, do the thing. All right, boom. So let me talk about it. Let me take y'all to another place in time. Let's go out into the universe. Can we do that? All right, let's talk about the weather right now. Let's start off in the ATL. ATL got a high today of 83 degrees. It'll be nice. Let's take it up to Brooklyn, New York. They got a high today of 73 degrees. Speaking of, New York got not swept, but they got pushed right on out of there, out of the basketball series, got beat down. And next, let's take it to Chicago. They got a high of 77. And Houston, they got a high of 88. Oakland also 77, sharing the same high as Chicago. And next, let's take it to Aruba, one place I want to go check out one of these days and see what it look like, maybe. And they got a high of 84. And last but not least, let's talk about Pimba, Mozambique. They got a high today of 85 degrees. That was kind of hot. I'll tell you what else was kind of hot. How this preacher was getting down over there at Morehouse. Yeah, he was dropping some jewels on him, and the crowd was like, "Oh, really?" So let me put y'all on, let y'all hear a little bit about what he was dropping. The Reverend Reginald Wayne Sharp Jr.
When we see millions of dollars invested in building Cop City here in Atlanta while displacing black families to build a mock city for police training, it can make you hold your head down. When Donald Trump can possibly become president again with 4 federal indictments, 88 federal charges against him, he's been in court more than he's campaigned, it can make you hold your head down. And I know some of y'all don't agree like me. It's all right when you preach your sermon, preach it the way you want to preach it. But today I'm going to preach mine the way God told me to preach it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
When the United States continues to send billions of dollars to fund weapons to Israel, it'll make you hold your head down. When almost 35,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza while 1,200 people have been killed in Israel, it'll make you hold your head down.
Ooh, that boy was bringing it, yo. Big up to that part of Morehouse bringing somebody to speak that was actually legit. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning crew right here, because you know how we do on the Remix Morning show. Let's go. Yeah.
Meh.
I feel like I got distracted and I missed something. Did I not hear him just say he was lamenting the people who were dying in Israel?
He said that. He said when 35,000 Palestinians are murdered and then 1,300 Palestinians are dead, it makes you want to hold your...
Oh, I see. Okay.
No.
Before that, he talked about Cop City. Let's not forget.
Yes, and then he mentioned Trump, literally called his name, but then says the U.S. government sending weapons to Israel. It's Joe Biden sending weapons to Israel. Why is Trump the boogeyman that you must name, but Joe Biden, the genocidaire, is not?
I thought he said how Trump can keep getting elected.
He did say that. Yes, he said that. And then he said, when the U.S. government continues to send weapons to Israel, but that's Joe Biden. If Donald Trump was the president and you can name him as the representative of the U.S. government, who could be reelected as the representative of the U.S. government, then you need to name the current representative of the U.S. government that's committing the crimes of sending the weapons to Israel. Name one, name the other, name them all. Don't be what I don't understand why people can't call Joe Biden the fascist, racist, white supremacist, settler colonial genocidaire that he is.
I know who can. Come out, K. Franklin.
Genocidaire. I love it. I loved it. I loved it.
You're welcome. Shout out to Dr. Gerald Horn.
Genocidaire.
Yes. See, very, very much like
one
Je
will
ne
catch
sais
on.
quoi, but with bombs.
So yeah, he
Look
shot
how
it
we
out
elevate here.
Cop City in front of the whole crew. I was like, okay. Speaking of Cop City, what's going on?
True. And I'm sorry I didn't answer y'all message the other day because that's where I was outside Morehouse protesting, surrounded by cops on their little bicycles. So I couldn't find the thing.
Yeah, but that's not how you described it. You were too busy activist shaming us. He was like, you over here asking for password access. I'm dealing with the police, motherfucker.
That was true. I was in the moment. I was like,
I don't have time for
I'm
this.
like Jesus out
I'm
here
surrounded
right
by the police.
I'm like Jesus right now.
He did a Jared on us, Cabal. He's like, why are y'all calling me?
At risk for the people, the masses. You're asking me for administrative stuff.
Oh, Kamau Mau. Thanks, Ricky.
Kamau.
How was it? How was it out there?
It was a walk in the park. I was fine. I mean, there was a lot of there's a lot of tension. They kept trying to stop us from getting close. We got closer than we thought. We probably had a good 300 people, 200 to 300 people, I think, at tops. Atlanta is not, I will say this though, Atlanta is not, it could be Atlanta, depending on where you're at, DC, New York, LA, obviously those cities are bigger. But I appreciate the sizes of the crowds that come out. I think we're still on this issue and other issues, even though I think we've despite some frictions and stuff like that, a strong activist community out here, but we still got to pull out the numbers for folks to sort of really be on display around how many people are against this or opposed to this. But, as far as having folks who were passionate, organized, folks who we had this brother who we should bring on, who is a teacher at Morehouse, who actually for the first time, he said in his 12 years of teaching there, skipped the graduation, the commencement ceremony in order to be outside, rallying and marching and demonstrating with people. And he spoke on the mic. We had alumni spokes, current students who spoke. So it was really galvanizing in terms of having people come out and say that they do not want Genocide Joe, who then made a commercial. They made a commercial about him being at Morehouse. And again, as I'm sure you guys have either talked about or we will talked about, yesterday stated plainly that he said it wasn't a genocide. So, oh
my goodness. Let me let y'all go ahead and get to the news. I know it's so much y'all got to talk about. I'll catch you on the next break. Peace.
So should we, I don't know if slap the map is the appropriate phrase anymore. Should we?
Did we already have the break? Was that the opening? That was the opening, or that was already a break?
That was the first break.
That was the opening break. We would now be heading to slapping the map or pushing or remixing the news or whatever. We did those things anymore, whatever the equivalent would be. So I guess we could do that now.
Or we could talk about Cameron. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about it.
So wait, what? I missed that though. I did highlight the comment, but I missed.
I saw it. He's crazy to do this cray.
What did he say?
CNN, just to set the back, Ear Doctor might do a better job. I just caught it. I barely. I'm just like
they had.
CNN has no idea who they bringing on to talk about what. It's like, oh, you rap and you're a hip hop, you're an artist. Here, come talk about Diddy.
Wait a minute.
This is what they did. It was like, oh, you got a show now? Come talk about Diddy. This shit was
Cameron drinks sex stimulant during CNN Diddy interview.
It was crazy.
He was drinking his pink horsepower.
It was 10
He
seconds
was drinking
crazy.
his pink horsepower.
He said, I'm about to go get some cheese.
No, show the actual clip, son.
Hold on, wait. I gotta wait for the commercial. I thought this was the clip. No, this isn't
Jackie. Welcome to Tuesdays on the Remix.
There's not gonna be a lot of news.
We get to the news.
Wait a minute.
Too much other important things happening.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Now I can't. Hold on a second. Let me get to the. Hold on. I'll find it in a second.
So it was.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they was on there asking him about Diddy and stuff like that. Like, how did you hang? You hung around him? Was he like this, that, and the third? And he was more like, man, I'm about to promote my show. I'm about to promote my product. You ain't about to have me on here on no crazy.
Is there something known in the
No,
industry?
Oh, this
take
is
that
a
one down.
bad.
Take that down.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
That's not, wait a minute.
Yeah. So
I got a good one from.
So it was because
Oh,
he's been
man.
on news before, like oh my
His
God.
Bill O'Reilly with Dame Dash
Yes.
back in the day is still a classic.
Yes.
That's legendary.
Well,
But-
this will be similar.
oh no.
And you gotta look at the look on her face, the reporter who in earnest is trying to
no.
carry on with the interview. And probably in her head too, she's like, "Why the fuck am I on here with this dude?" Like, she can't say it like that, but that's what she starts to look like.
Because they probably get more views than she does at this point.
Oh yeah. But for like,
But yeah,
I mean,
I
this
know.
is-
but yeah.
okay, all right, let's play.
Of Diddy, Cassie in that hotel. Did you recognize that Sean Combs?
What I want to say, first of all, when I seen the video, everything in the video is egregious. I'm against. I don't support all the charges that's alleged against him. I don't support any of that trafficking, minors, domestic violence. I'm totally against it. So when I seen the video, yeah, I was kind of upset with it. Being that I know him, he's not necessarily a friend, but yeah, I was upset when I seen it. But
Did you
as far as
recognize
everything
him?
I just said,
Did you recognize
I
that kind of
wasn't-
anger at all from your
I don't
experiences?
know him like that. What do you mean? Do I be recognized? Did I recognize him? I seen him. What do you mean my experiences? I seen him and I thought it was disgusting. I didn't do a zoom in to see if it was really him or nothing, but he admitted it was him. So yeah, it was him.
What did you think about the apology that he gave in that other video?
Ain't me for this. The apology ain't for me to decide. It's for Cassie. What I think about it don't matter. He ain't do nothing to me. Cassie need to ask Cassie if she accept the apology. I told you how I feel. I said what I said.
I want to play a conversation that you had on your podcast back in September with Mace.
We're gonna watch
Listen.
the whole thing, y'all.
Yeah.
It's too good.
When you had your record deal, why did you take me to Biggie Smalls and not Bad Boy?
Man, it's almost gonna bring me to tears to say this. I just, being that I saw you as such a good friend, I wanted to put you with somebody I knew with.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. A lot of people ask me that on Instagram,
Yeah, I knew
man.
with Biggie
Don't have me just out here crying and
that's
shit,
it.
man. I don't want to get
Instantly, I knew-
emotional in here, man.
Instantly, I knew Biggie would do right by you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there
Here we go.
is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated
just sniff
his
it.
artists?
Look how he makes sure his fingers are off the thing.
What? Listen what he said.
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace
Look at her
took me to
look.
Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said. And of course, that's my brother. So if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff. I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. And y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I
But
might get
Kamau,
some
that's how you
information
supposed to
information
do
from
it.
there, but for me to
Yes.
tell you
Is that how you
Puff
do
act
it?
and all that,
Yes.
I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah.
All
What
right,
about
they
the
can take
industry
that
in
down.
general?
No,
I mean,
no,
so
no.
many people
More.
have pointed out
Got
that
the whole
Diddy
thing.
couldn't get away with this stuff
It's only
if
29
there
months.
weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Listen to him. Watch him.
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that invited me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint?
All
Oh,
right.
wow, and I don't be sitting
Cameron.
around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
Thanks.
man, come on, man.
Thanks
That's
for
crazy,
joining
man.
us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You enjoy.
You can see.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was brilliant, though. That was brilliant.
Who invited me on this joint, man? What did the
I like
look
it.
like watching Diddy?
I was ready to condemn, but I like it. I think it was brilliant.
He's like, yo, it's like, what? Just because I'm black and I'm rap? Like, why y'all throw me on here?
Right, like-
Who told y'all to get me for this shit? Like, I knew Diddy. Of course, he didn't turn it down because of
Nah,
CNN.
Because
And
he
got a chance
knew
to
he
do
could promote
Yes.
That's
all
the
he was
lesson
there
you should
for.
learn.
I cannot wait to see their show later today. I absolutely will watch it and see the recap. But yes, Kamau, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I don't care what. Don't ask me, but why you ask me about Cop City? I'm here to promote the remix.
You know what I'm saying? God.
What? Police do what they do. We know that already. I'll be on the remix at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Tuesday through Thursday.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
My bad. You're right. No, y'all right. And then I got to drink a little something inside. I'm gonna get some cheeks out. What the fuck?
But I mean,
On the CNN news show, I love it. I love
some cheeks after this.
that's. I mean, I can't even be mad at Cameron because it's Cameron. Why would I expect him to act any differently? The thing is, it makes CNN. It just exposes their ridiculousness and their lack of seriousness. Like if they, a so-called veritable news agency, would think it's a good idea to interview any random rapper to talk about another random rapper and his scandals, then they deserve the dragon that this represents. This is a drag. It is so funny.
But shout out to them
because it's the appropriate level of the news they are, right? That's who they are. That's who the fuck they are.
And when else did they make it to the Remix Morning Show?
Say it again.
When else does CNN make it to the Remix Morning Show?
Exactly. This is the equivalent of them covering Gaza and everything else. It's like that's the thing. You have mixed up experts who don't know what the fuck they talking about, and you don't care. You just expect them to say some shit that's like kind of like, you know, in the middle or supporting U.S. genocide. That's all you care about. Like, you don't care about the actual facts of the situation. You don't care about getting an expert on in this particular segment or whatever. You're like, oh, he can talk. He's a rapper. He had somebody looked up something and said they saw the name Cameron and they saw Diddy and I was like, oh, that'd be perfect.
They wanted his followers.
The talent. That's exactly it. The talent booker or whatever probably watches their show. They couldn't get Mace because from what he says, because I do watch the show, he doesn't do these kind of interviews. Mace is not interested in this. Cam is the owner, the promoter, the money. You know, he's the bigger, the hustler. You know, in this way, more than Mace. So of course he's going to take the interview. And to all of our collective points, CNN don't care. And that's, if you want to have a serious conversation about Diddy and more importantly, the violence against women and so on and so forth, you don't invite Cam. I mean, so it's already set up. So good for him. Good for him.
So, we got a guest coming on around 9. So let me get up out of here so y'all can talk about Jim Crow Joe and all that. What did you say?
He said, "Is it Cam?"
Hey, you never know. Stick around.
He said, "Who's the talent agency? Who booked me on this?
That was hilarious. That was hilarious. He is actually looking off and like he's literally talking to someone.
I want to break that fourth wall. Yeah, I think I got to be all here and proper. It's like, nah. Why am I on here? Who put me on here?
And oh man, that's hilarious. So what is the phrase that we're using now? Are we just slapped in the map and calling it spinning it? Something.
Get to the news job, Turkey.
Oh Lord.
Get to the news job, Turkey.
Oh.
I'm waiting for the video. It is. It's like way 70s beat. It's hard to think.
Wow.
The map slapping at least was like, I felt it had a nature of it that kind of conveyed a seriousness of like what the next thing was. This tells me I'm about to watch Sanford and Son or some shit like that. That's what comes to mind.
Shaft.
You'll have a new one next week or this week.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
Oof. All right. Who got some
rebuilding here
for the news? We rebuilding.
We rebuilding. So shout out to others because there are so many Ericas. Brokish's Erica for lacing us with the run sheet. And Brokish just dropped a new episode, by the way. Please go check it out. And I continue to make reference to the future Dr. Brown's forthcoming seminal work on financial literacy. So in addition to all of that, she gave us stuff on the run sheet. So if you want, we can continue with the theme that the ear doctor laid down with the Morehouse graduation, unless either one of you has something.
Nope.
So we have this clip here.
We started college just as George Floyd was murdered, and there was a reckoning on race. It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? The trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. Most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
Did he just cobble together like 10 speeches from black people about America and its abusive relationship with Africans, and stand up there and just act like
the empathy card? He played the empathy. He understands our pain. He understands what we're going through. And you're right, all that is coded. How many different, it was like, I'm trying to think, like, who was that? Who said that line?
Right.
But in the immortal words of one of them cats from Onyx, but wait, it gets worse.
I know it does.
No doubt that the Morehouse man will be president one day, just after an AKA from Howard.
Well, that was really that funny.
He can't even smile with that face.
And why do you put the Secret Service agent in a doctoral?
Okay.
Is he getting an honorary degree too?
Why not? Give him another one.
So, I mean and as you guys probably talked about, so there was various protests that were happening that got some coverage. There were some students when he was introduced who stood up and turned their back. There was a professor who raised the Congolese flag and turned her back and put up a Black Power fist. Obviously, there was the demonstrations that were happening outside. But essentially the idea that the Morehouse administration allows themselves to be cover for Joe Biden to come in, who obviously on every college campus is being called out for genocide all across the country. And they decide to be the college campus that allows him to come and assert his empathy for Black people, as if George Floyd wasn't killed in a city run by a Democrat, as if all the other Black people who've been killed by the police weren't in cities that were actually run by Democrats, as if he's not the fucking president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And if he had some policy choices to make, and he's so worried about our positioning in the United States, there's so many things he can push through, sometimes with legislation, sometimes with executive order, to get bombs all over the bombs to any country he wants to get bombs through. But he can't put resources into communities if he so thought that we were suffering so much, and he was the man. He's been here for 4 years. So all this stuff is just kind of, obviously it's a showpiece. And again, the Morehouse administration, which shows how these administrators work, didn't care. In fact, the Morehouse president has refused himself to call it or even answer the question, as we showed a clip a few weeks ago, to even answer the question around whether or not it's a genocide, which shows in some ways that he actually does think it is, because he refuses to come out right away with the same kind of statement that Biden would make, it say it's not genocide. But he's like, I'm not going to answer that question. But for folks to allow themselves to be used in such a way, it just shows what these institutions really represent. And it's going to be up to the faculty and the student base, when they can, to use these institutions for radical change. But it's not going to be with the help of the administration, right? Because those folks are settled in on trying to stay good with the elite forces whether Democrat or Republican, who run the country.
Hey, listen, I think obviously I didn't see, well, not, I mean, I didn't see the whole speech, but it sounds like they're following that sort of Obama playbook or just the standard Democratic playbook. If we allude to something or mention something, it's meant to replace actually doing something about the something. So I keep being reminded that one meeting where I'm in the room where Jared Bernstein tells everybody, thanks for all your reports on the horrible conditions of all your communities, but we have no public policy lined up to address any of it. And he strolled out, and it's just kind of the same thing. So Biden comes through, puts on the robe, puts on the outfit, references Black Death and this, that, and the third, and then see you in November.
Mm-hmm. I do wonder what he said immediately after
Gone to November.
That cobbled together. It's like, what do you say to all these folks who are just like, and I'm sure many of the graduates are sitting there. Wait, that's from a speech by so and so. That's from a speech by this person. Well, that's from.
Don't we get in trouble when we do that on our papers?
That's right. It's like if I had done all of that, I would not be sitting here with this degree.
If you copy and paste that and put that in the plagiarism search engine, they probably gonna come back flagged all up.
Right. I just wonder what he said after that to like clean all of that up, and the embellishment that he did with it, like 10 times better. No, that's not.
And there was that divide. Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that there was that divide where the students did not stand when he was introduced or at the end, but the parents and or some the folks on the other side actually stood up, and some of them started saying 4 more years. So again, there is that youth and elder divide still when it comes to the idea that they'd rather have some old Democrat who gives the crumbs, even as he's again not doing anything active to change the situation. And it's not his job, right? He's not going to, but people will accept a few jobs and or perks and or the recognition. It's like, oh, there's another Black first, and they'll be happy with that. And I think that divide is there, where again, I think young people, particularly including young Black folks, are seen through the veneer like never before. Like how long this moment will last, how long people will go from mobilizing to organizing is yet to be seen, of course. But it's interesting that the students, even though they didn't protest en masse, some wore keffiyehs, some wore the valedictorian wore a Palestinian pin when he came up and spoke. And I think he received a standing ovation when he mentioned something around Palestine from the larger student audience, graduating audience. So there is that divide that's happening. And then again, the question becomes, what happens with that divide in 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And I know those graduation dinners were with some of those students were awkward. Like, Mama, was that you up there talking about 4 more years? Yes, I was, because do you want Trump? And the kids are like, you know what, Mama, fuck Trump. Your friend Joe Biden, and the food is getting thrown, and family and politics. But good for seriously though, good for those students, good for them, for the ones who were able to be brave enough to actually protest or turn their chair around. Big up to all the students who did not stand up and applaud him for when he was introduced, and who didn't stand up when he was, at the end. Look, everybody can do what they can do in the moment. So, good for them for doing, for those who were able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they, find a little bit more courage as they come along in this world.
Mm-hmm. Do I have something next? I have something I wanted to do real quick.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead. I just saw Morgan referenced in the chat and got distracted. I'm here like Biden ain't speaking my Morgan graduation. Whoa. Did Biden speak? When did Biden speak at Morgan? That? I don't know.
Maybe a few years ago. So, again, as we're going to probably hit on the story about the potential warrants for arrest of Netanyahu, others within the Israeli government, and Hamas members. So I wanted to play real quick, and some of this, is being played out day after day in these press conferences that are being held by U.S. authorities in terms of their talking points. And again, sometimes we played a couple of these things, and it's always great when these folks get caught out there in terms of like what they said. It has no legal has no legal factual legal analysis in terms of what they're offering, but they're just spitballing, and then they try to talk over the reporter. But then this reporter kind of just tried to make clear that the U.S. is basically stating that it's an empire and there are no other rules that are needed. And so I wanted to play this around the question of jurisdiction to bring these charges against the Israeli government for war crimes.
Focus on jurisdiction for a second. Who does have jurisdiction here?
So the government of Israel has jurisdiction
over the occupied territory.
We have jurisdiction
over Gaza, which is not entirely occupied.
They have jurisdiction into looking at the actions by their
so
military
the Palestinians,
personnel.
If they have a complaint, they have to bring it to Israeli courts.
We have jurisdiction, and we
have
with the use of our equipment.
I'm sorry. How do you have
with the use of our military equipment that we have provided?
How do you have jurisdiction?
If you look at the Leahy law, if you look at
that's not jurisdiction in a criminal process. That's
not in a criminal process, but it has to do with the determinations that we make and the policies that flow from it. So, but Matt, long term, you were right that we want to see
the word for DOJ, Matt.
You were
on. There's no U.S. does not have jurisdiction.
There are different. I wasn't referring to criminal jurisdiction, Matt. There are different ways to look at this. Long term, we agree with you that the Palestinian people should be a state that has have the ability to make these determinations. But that's not where we are today. That's where we're trying to get to.
The Palestinians have been members of the ICC, the International Criminal Court, and so they have the perfect right to bring cases there. And the ICC definitely has jurisdiction over different countries. Now, some of these countries have not signed the protocols, but it doesn't mean that the ICC cannot make fact-finding analysis of what's been happening over there. And for this guy to say that the United States has jurisdiction because of its equipment,
right?
Then he said, yes, exactly. You mean because you can drop bombs on people's heads, you can murder people. That's what gives you jurisdiction. And I know he didn't mean to say it in that way. It's a little slippage. He tried to by trying to clean it up, he actually went worse because he went from equipment to military.
Right.
But it's really plain to see that what we're talking about here has no legal basis. What we're talking about here is an empire who has the power to determine life or death. And that's what's happening right now in Palestine. And so, yeah.
That was, I loved how it was almost like they were, the reporter was finding the pea under the, in the shell game, and it was just ticking what's his face off. Because every time he asked him a question, he's like, okay, so who has jurisdiction if the Palestinians have a complaint? Well, the United States does. And as soon as he says one thing, this journalist, and it was a beautiful act of journalism. As soon as this representative of the State Department says one thing, well, the U.S. has jurisdiction. Oh, yeah? How does the U.S. have jurisdiction? Because the U.S. doesn't have any. How are you having jurisdiction? Oh, because of our equipment. What equipment? Well, because of the military. Oh, what do you mean because of the military? What does that mean? How does the military? That was an excellent example of how you should be confronting these scribes of the empire as a journalist, because you can catch them in their lies exactly like that. That was masterful, I thought.
Yeah, it just reminds me of when Huey Newton made that point about that's why he was saying part of why he was saying there's no nations to which we can decolonize at this point, because their technology, media, and otherwise allows them to cross any border at any time. And there they are saying it, like just in case you needed a reminder. Mm-hmm. And your boy Chomsky used to say, or still says, that what was his line? Something about if everywhere is your backyard, you're never sort of crossing a border per se, and the U.S. is just
the U.S. is establishing
everywhere.
There is no international law. International law is what we say it is. I mean, I think that's their basic thing. It's anybody else. When Putin was brought before the ICC, there wasn't any. You didn't hear any U.S. commentary claiming that the ICC shouldn't be doing this. That there's still investigations, and part of the longer spiel that he made was, there's still investigations being done by Israel to determine if they are in fact committing war crimes. And that was one of the first things reported. So the Palestinians have to rely on the actual perpetrators, the Israelis, to decide whether or not they themselves are committing war crimes. So that kind of analysis or statement would never be made in reference to a Russia or an Iran or a Cuba, only for U.S. allies. So basically, it's like what we say. What at least our stance is: shut up and listen, because it's what we say, right? That's the whole that's international policy.
And is that the first time? It can't be, but see, this is why I'm asking: is that the first time we've heard a U.S. official say the words, "We want the Palestinians to have a state"?
No, I mean, it's official policy. It's official.
I mean, other than in the context of a two-state solution, because
that's the same context in which they are saying it in. Like, it's that the policy, the official policy of the United States is, or the official talking points of the United States is that it believes in a two-state solution.
In this two-state solution. So he wasn't saying anything different from
No. One, of course, that never will take place. That it's not their interest to take place, as they allow Israel to continue to drag out not only this genocidal war, but even prior to the genocidal war, the open air prison that Gaza was, to continue stealing of land in the West Bank, obviously the complete stealing of land and what's considered Israel proper. So all of that is about delay. Oslo agreements, other agreements never put forth real mechanisms to creating even a two-state solution or any solution that involved the Palestinian state, because it's never what is actually being sought of. It's a delay policy that scatters Palestinians outside of their homeland, that allows Israel to continue to take. And the only time the U.S. interjects is when it becomes too raw, too in its face. And then it says, hey, y'all, we got to get some talking points together. Obviously, we're never going to stop military aid. We're never going to stop the financial aid. That's not happening. But we just need some talking points to look like we're wrapping them on the hand, to look as if we're being somehow equal for both sides, where that's never going to be. That's never the case. And in some ways, the Palestinian Authority, a lot of blame has to be laid, I think, at their feet, because they continually play this game. Whereas Hamas does not play this game. The Palestinian Authority continues to play this game because they get resources from the United States vis-a-vis Israel for paychecks and so forth. So they do not do anything. They do not. In fact, they have working relationships with the Israeli military to turn in, to spy, to give intelligence on their own people, so that any sort of disruptions, mass uprisings, militaristic action is immediately thwarted, particularly in the West Bank at this stage. But they do everything they can to cut that out, to stop that from happening. And again, until they do more, and until they, more is forced upon nations that are right next door to Palestine, i.e. Egypt and Jordan, this situation will continue to go on as it is, because there's going to have to be outside military pressure and support that it continues to isolate Israel. The one thing I'll say is that at the very least, again, the isolation that Israel is being put under is something that it won't be able to walk back soon. And so Israel, of course, is more concerned about seizing territory, and they'll in their minds, they're like, we'll think about that other stuff later. We'll get, we'll get reintroduced, or we'll rely on the West to help get our image back at some future time period. Right now, what we care about is seizing the land. We want to seize this land to demolish Palestinian institutions, cultural, political, social, and otherwise. and we seize this land. And after that, we'll worry about rehabilitation within the larger world sphere.
So I know we have an interview coming up, but I just noticed this on the run sheet and it seems relevant, well, to a lot of different things, but I didn't hear, I'm honestly I missed this. Iran's president and foreign minister die in helicopter crash at moment of high tensions in Mideast. Is this a video?
Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi is dead. He was killed in a helicopter crash in the far northwest of the country, along with Iran's foreign minister and other officials that were flying through a really foggy area. Now, in the time since, we've heard from Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. He says that Iran's first vice president, Mohammad Mokhtar, will go ahead and be a caretaker president over the next 50 days. During that period, there should be an election held to replace Raisi. Raisi is the second president to die while in office. The first was killed in a bombing in 1981. All this comes as the wider Middle East is really on a knife's edge right now, and Iran is part of that. We have seen Iran under Raisi and Khamenei launch an unprecedented drone and missile attack on Israel amid its war on Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, Iran is continuing to enrich uranium up to nearly weapons-grade levels while hampering international inspectors' ability to view those sites. And in Iran itself, we have seen just massive protests over the last few years, both over Iran's ailing economy as well as its treatment of women. Overall, Iranians say that they are shocked by Raisi's death, that they're waiting to see what will happen next. And for the rest of the Middle East, it's holding its breath.
No, it's not.
Wow. Oh, damn.
Iran has a very stable, again, whether you're a complete supporter of the Islamic Revolution or not, it has a very stable institutions and political order that includes secession after someone's death in office, that includes a actual election in 50 days, vis-a-vis chosen candidates. And so there is some limits in which they allow. But Iran is not teetering. I like the Western news stories often try to make any incident that happens in Iran means it's some sort of teetering of the whole system and it's about to fall over, which is never the case, right? These the way, I mean, the demonstration they just showed, again, our demonstration against Biden was bigger than that on Sunday. No news report, to my knowledge, has ever said the United States is teetering based on demonstrations. Whether or not we think those demonstrations are true, in fact, should be happening or not, and or we support those demonstrations. But those demonstrations in and of themselves do not mean that the state itself is about to collapse. And again, internal Iranian issues. I'm all for people supporting within a certain way folks gathering and getting more rights, but I'm also not for, but we definitely have to be careful that we are not allowing ourselves to be cover for Western propaganda, which tries to use demonstrations as a way to claim something is illegitimate, when poll after poll amongst Iranian citizens themselves suggests they may want some different things, they want things different, but poll after poll does not show that the Iranian people want to overthrow their own government. Poll after poll says that they want different types of reform. They want different types of things to happen, which is internal to them and their mechanisms of how they will run their system. But obviously in the Western world, what we get is the propaganda of like the system is teetering, bringing up things about the attack on Israel, which was really in response to the attack by Israel on an Iranian consulate in Syria, which is considered, or it should be considered, basically the homeland of a nation state. The media does not make a huge deal that the shadow war that they're claiming has been happening is really a shadow war of Israel bombing Iranian facilities, military installations, killing scientists, nuclear scientists, and other scientists, targeting government officials in an ongoing terrorist war against Iran that's been going on for over 30 years with the support of the United States government, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not a coincidence kind of, they're still on this. Iran is about to get a nuclear weapon tip, and Iran is responding to Israel's attacks and not backing down. This is, I can't prove that it's the United States, but it sure does look and smell like the United States. So we shall see.
All right. Well, I know we got a special guest coming up, and Ear Doctor waiting to take us to our next break. So
yeah. All right. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep this train going. This train. Get my Bob Marley on. All right. Let's do it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. Big up everybody tuning in right here, right now. This is the Remix Morning Show. Give you that boom bap breakfast. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there and get footage that's rare. And yeah, share like you care. All right, with that said, we're going to do a real quick, we in the record store. And I wanted to talk about a certain artist. Who is this artist I wanted to talk about? No other than a man called Tony Rebel. Let me tell you about Tony Rebel. Patrick George Anthony Barrett, better known as the stage name Tony Rebel, a reggae DJ born in Manchester, Paris, Jamaica. He's a singer. He initially was known as Papa Tony or Tony Rankin, but he had a big hit that came down in 1990 called Fresh Vegetable. And he had a singing J style of delivery where he sing. And this was his thing. So Columbia Records, they signed him up. And he came out with Vibes of the Times, a reggae fusion album the following year. Which spawned some big tunes. We're talking Vibes of the Times and Nazarite Vow. He founded his own record label in 1994 called Flames. Yes, and he also had a reggae festival named after him called Rebel Salute in Jamaica, and this thing been going on for every year annually on his birthday. In 2001, Barrett wrote, recorded, and donated the song Not All About the Money to United Nations Volunteers Program, an inclusion on the International Year of Volunteer 2001, and the CD came out for that one. But the boy even got like 10 albums, man. Go check the boy out. Yes, Rastafarian to the heart of it all. He also has, in 2013, he has a sworn as a justice of peace. So the boy been doing this thing for a while. Big up to the man called Tony Rebel. Yes. I love you like a fresh vegetable. Now we move forward. Yeah, Tony.
I mean, you really held the accent throughout the whole thing.
Even though it kept falling to the, but that's okay. You kept.
He just thinks if he keeps saying ting. If I keep saying ting, that sounds.
Where your chubbo boy? What you mean?
It's not basketball board from Trent. I'm
just saying ting all the time doesn't make me sound good.
Yeah, Doctor, you just got to let them know once you hit a certain status, you don't have to do accents. You like Kevin Costner and Tom Cruise. You play anybody. You don't have to change.
That's right.
Tom Cruise was a Nazi and sounded the same as when he's doing Mission Impossible. You know what I'm saying? Just let them know, yeah, Doctor. You know what I'm saying?
He was the last samurai too. Don't forget that.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds he's the same dude.
Sounded like the guy from Cocktail.
Yeah. It sounds like Maverick and Top Gun, all of them. He's the same dude. You got to let him know here, Doctor. I don't need to do no accent. I'm above accent.
But hey, I did suck my teeth right, though. All the Caribbean people know about that.
That's true.
All right, well, let me get up out of here and let y'all get to it. Peace.
That's right. We have a special guest coming up to talk about some very important developments in the world of student organization and activism. So let's get to it.
Remix.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here today on the Remix Morning Show. It's Tuesday, May 21, and we are here. I'm Jackie Lukman, here with Kamal Franklin and Jared Ball, and we are happy to be joined by Austin Cole. Austin is a member of the Black Alliance for Peace, but he's also a student, graduate student at MIT, the Massachusetts Institute for Technology. Did I get that right, Austin? I always forget. Great.
You
So
got
I
nothing
want
down.
to.
Yeah.
Cool.
And of course, the home of Kamal's favorite white man. Don't forget
Come
that.
on, we did not
I
have
wasn't going to interject and do it, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
Anyway, see, I was trying to get to this video of Austin speaking at a protest at MIT. So let's take a look at this real quick. Hold on. Here we go.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! I'm going to ask y'all to take a quick inhale and exhale with me, all right? I don't know about y'all, but right now and in these moments, my heart is hardening a bit. In moments such as this, we have to turn to our humanity. But not the liberal shared humanity that I see so many people rush towards on social media or the halls of Congress. That has always been humanity for some and dogged disrespect for others. That's right! On that shared humanity, we have to say enough! So no, for me, while my heart is hardening, I take solace not in the idealistic or utopian underpinnings and understandings of peace, but the humanity of shared struggle.
Oops, sorry about that. I have to cut that off because that is, pretty long with all of the other speakers. But Austin, those were some of your comments at the pro-Palestinian anti-genocide protests at MIT. And from what I heard, those are encouraging words. They were, it's telling it like it is. I didn't hear any calls for a genocide against Jews. I didn't hear for, killing all Jews. It was a pretty, you go to any Palestinian rally, it was a pretty standard, speech about standing up for the rights and the very lives of human beings. But what happened after that speech to you?
Yeah. So that speech that y'all played was one of the early ones. That one actually, it landed me on Canary Mission. And they got the little highlight reel of me and got me doxxed up
and
there.
What's Canary Mission?
Yeah, Canary Mission is basically it's a Zionist website that basically outs mostly students and faculty and staff at universities, but a lot of other folks as well, other organizers, anybody basically that does pro-Palestinian organizing or even just speaks out about Palestine on a repeated basis gets put up on this website. And basically the idea is that Zionists are, they're trying to get people fired from their jobs or, not get people hired and all that stuff. So it ended up with me being doxxed, being up there, and then, saying similar things, participating in similar rallies, has now to this point, later, about 2 weeks ago, got me suspended from school. So I was, I've been involved in the Palestinian solidarity work on campus and in the Boston community too. And as of May 8th, I'm now suspended from school about a week before my last week, a week before classes ended in my last semester after 3 years. I had to take a failing grade in a class. Because of that, my diploma is being withheld. I got fired from my research. Well, not fired from my research job, but the university let me go. My boss didn't fire me, but the university is banning me from working in my research job. I lost my fellowship, my last fellowship stipend payment as well for the month of May. That was like 2 days away from hitting my bank account. And I'm not allowed on campus for fear of the safety and well-being of my classmates. And and luckily I don't live on campus, but several of my classmates and comrades who have been organizing as well were evicted on May 15th from their on-campus housing and had their dining plans taken away, but they're still being required to pay rent and pay for their dining plans, even though they were evicted. They have to pay for their last month. So all of that has come, not obviously just because of this one speech, but because of organizing, because of participation and encampment, and honestly because of organizing relatively, not just myself but a bunch of others relatively successfully. We didn't get what we wanted, but we showed our power, and this was the university's way of responding to that, right? Responding with their power.
Can I just quickly withdraw my earlier joke? I apologize. I didn't realize all this had happened. So I take back even that lighthearted joke. That's some horrific nonsense. So I apologize, and I'm sorry to hear about all that. I also see that they got Crystal Strong on that list.
Yeah.
As I'm scrolling through looking for familiar faces. So sorry to
No, it's no apologies necessary. I mean, you kind of gotta joke about this stuff because it's honestly designed like the way that they operate is comical in a way if it wasn't so harmful. But you go on the site too, and what you'll notice immediately is most of the people are Black or Arab, and the ones that aren't, a lot of them are Jews, right? A lot of them are anti-Zionist Jews. So you'll see there, and that stuff is reflected as well in the suspensions at MIT, in the way that people are targeted. 80% of the people suspended are people of color, right? Even though that's not reflective of the broader movement. And there's also a targeting, of anti-Zionist Jews on that list as well. But yeah, you see this type of stuff going. Really, what they're trying to do is basically destroy people's potential career prospects, right? For me personally, I'm not super worried about it, but obviously a lot of especially the undergrads, they're just graduating from college, trying to figure out, find their way and everything. So yeah, there's a bunch of folks. Probably there's a maybe a who's who of who's been
clarity,
that's
for my clarity,
right.
really quick. And whose list is this? This is MIT's list, or this is whose list?
No,
is this?
sorry about that. I started scrolling midway. This is the Canary Mission list.
Yeah. But they work. There's a lot of, at MIT specifically, we have a lot of this group formed called the Israel Alliance. There's a lot of former IDF soldiers, other folks like that who have actually admitted to, basically spying on students and professors, sending in tips to the FBI, I'm sure submitting, things here as well. So yeah, there's definitely some collaboration there, if not with the Institute necessarily, I want to say that, but definitely with people there.
Austin, how has, and people are, the MIT is categorized as one of the preeminent post what am I trying to say? Institutions of higher learning in this country, and we think of these places as full of the nice granola crunchy liberals, who are the Birkenstock wearing hippies who love all of the social issues, and that doesn't seem to be the case. And is that a reflection of our misunderstanding of what these institutions of education are, or is that a reflection of the change? Has there been like this big shift in what U.S. universities are? Are they not these bastions of liberal thought and ideology, or have they always been like these institutions of covert fascism?
Yeah, that's a big question. I don't know I'm qualified to answer on all of them, but for sure, I think that idea, right, of like what universities are, and having gone to a couple schools in New England and in this area, you know, I think I would say, I don't know if they've always been covert kind of centers of fascism, but certainly for as long as I've, you know, as long as I've been involved with these institutions, that is the case. You know, they hide under the veneer of progressivism, under this kind of like liberal ideology. You know, MIT's values after 2020, they did a whole value statement, you know, redevelopment, where they talked about inclusion and belonging and, you know, all of these kind of like lofty ideals, right? And universities have always done things like that, right? They've always sort of co-opted language. What I do think, though, has been concerning, and I saw this when I was, you know, an undergrad. I graduated from college in 2015, and you know, I entered MIT in 2021 for grad school. And what I saw when I was in college was actually a really strong a shift towards this very corporate way of being, way of acting by universities, both in their, you know, dealings with the wider community, but then also within their own community, and a real shift away from this idea. I went to like a liberal arts college, right? And a real shift away from this idea of, you know, exploration and academic, you know, learning and all of these things, and really, how do we get our students employed, and how do we bring in more money for our university? Now, MIT, I think, is a little bit unique, and MIT has kind of always been like that, right? There was never really the previous iteration of this sort of like, you know, like liberal bastion. There were certainly, you know, fights against Vietnam, against apartheid, but part of that was because MIT is literally, you know, called Pentagon East, right? It was MIT. If you actually look in the history, MIT was actually saved during World War II by someone, I believe maybe the second or third person in line at the Department of Defense, who was basically tasked with finding a university that could house a lot of the weapons and technological infrastructure for the effort in World War II. And basically this person went to MIT, and at that time, Stanford was doing a lot of stuff. And he basically said, we need somewhere on the East Coast, it should be at MIT. And so since World War II, MIT has basically been, you know, an extension of empire, right? Not even really an extension, just an appendage, right? And so, you know, from that sense, all the activism that has happened at MIT has really only been because it's been so egregiously tied to empire, not because there's sort of some really lofty idea of, you know, we should kind of have these strong social justice ideals. What I will say is that MIT has historically been pretty lax about like protests, you know, freedoms, things like that, right? Compared to Harvard, I would always kind of say this, like Harvard is just down the street, and Harvard has this really top-down ethos of like, we are, you know, we are dictating, you know, what is coming out of this university, who's using this university's name, and we're willing to basically censure people and put down things that we don't agree with. MIT has kind of always taken the opposite approach of like, you can do whatever you want, right? You know, if you can get it funded and if you can get someone to sponsor it, right? So like we don't care. Obviously that's its own form of co-optation and its own kind of side of like the fascistic university, but it's sort of always allowed those things to happen. What's changing now this year in particular with Palestine is we're seeing MIT start to take that more heavy-handed approach. And even actually a couple of days ago in the Boston Globe, which, you know, is a pretty standard mainstream newspaper, they actually highlighted how different MIT's treating of the protests right now is compared to the 60s and 70s with Vietnam and the 80s with apartheid, and how heavy-handed MIT has been with like pretty standard and peaceful forms of protest. You know, in the 60s and 70s, people were taking buildings, threatening to blow labs up, like doing all this stuff, right? Like we were just camping right on the green, and they called in 200 police and riot police, right? And so, you know, we are seeing a change, I think, in the university, how quick and how fast the universities are willing to do these things. But it's been precipitated by this long history of basically these universities becoming corporations, right? Like, I mean, literally MIT, the governing body, is called the corporation, right? I mean, it's not, you don't even have to make a joke about it, right? It literally is just called that. So I think you see that, and you also see, in particular at MIT, basically all professors are like little entrepreneurs, right? They all seek their own funding. They all go out, they have to raise their money, and they have freedom, but it's sort of the same type of freedom. I think MIT is a good reflection of US capitalistic, fascistic society, right? If you have money, if you can get money to do your project, you can have freedom, right? But what do you need to do in order to get that money, in order to get that freedom, is you have to have allegiance to empire, right? And then as soon as you talk about shifting that allegiance to empire, now all of a sudden academic freedom is a problem, right? That you're not living out those values of academic freedom when you want to go against empire. And so that's what we're seeing, I think, today.
So you have gone from someone that MIT honored with a Civil Rights and Social Justice Award just a few months ago, Austin, to now persona non grata off the campus. You're on their hit list. You're suspended, no stipend, your fellowship is gone. What can we do to support you and the other students who have been targeted by MIT for literally standing up against genocide?
Yeah, so there's a few things. So I think the number one thing is honestly just pressuring MIT from externally, right? So calling, emailing, and sharing, some of the media and stuff. So for folks that want more context about the demands that we have, and the demands at MIT are actually really, really simple and specific. It's to cut research ties with the Israeli Ministry of Defense. There's two specific programs that we are calling for the ties to be cut. One is a autonomous swarming drone program, and one is an underwater surveillance program. So we're not talking about even, the like wider kind of connections to universities. We're talking about direct military applications, right, for these things. So we're calling for those programs to be cut. It's only $11 million over the last 9 years, right? It's not that much money for the university, but obviously their political imperative is there. So it's calling for that. It's obviously raising awareness more broadly about MIT's ties. So there are broader ties that MIT has with complicity with the Zionist state and with this genocide that's going on in Gaza, and then really highlighting the genocide, right, that's ongoing, the bombing in Rafah. Today there was attacks in Jenin in the West Bank, where already, I think when I was reading earlier, about 7 people have been murdered, including a child on their bicycle. Jenin is about as far away in Palestine as you can get from Gaza, right? And so highlighting those things. But then in terms of supporting us, you can find more of that context at mitsage.org. So it's mitsage.org, and that's the Scientists Against Genocide Encampment. So we have a press release that's coming out today that'll give some updated information about where things are. And then if you want to actually call in or email in, we're asking for folks to pressure this week in particular, because like my first disciplinary hearing is tomorrow. A lot of my comments, some of them have already had them, but the majority of them are coming up in the next couple of days. And so you can go to tinyurl.com/MIT protests with an S at the end. And that has sort of an email, that has like an email that'll auto-populate. But if you go to the website as well, mitsage.org, you can find some of that stuff. And then the last thing I would say, MIT_CAA on both Instagram and Twitter has more of the kind of day-to-day, stuff that we're doing. We have an art installation that was put up today that was showing, MIT's ties to the Israeli. We had like receipts printed out that have the actual funding, the very specific funding sources, how much money is going to all of those things. So all those things have been laid out. So, I think, Jackie, one of the things you mentioned is like this idea that like, there is this idea, in the broader kind of like culture that, oh, students are protesting. It is like the Birkenstock wearing hippie students that like, they don't understand what's going on in the world. And the Zionists really tap into that as well. They really are like, these people, they don't know what they're protesting, right? No, we have literally line by line all the money that is coming in, these very specific programs we presented proposals to the university. The university never even presented a counter proposal to us, right? We presented them with a paper that said, this is how you can do it. Here is the process. Here's even a way that the students that are currently studying under these professors that are using this funding cannot be affected and have transitional funding for those students, right? But all of that stuff obviously gets ignored. They kind of deflect away from all of the actual rigorous work that has happened to do this research and to show these specific ties. And they basically say, oh no, these students are just, as you said, calling for the killing of Jews, right? Or calling for XYZ thing. And so, you know, it's patronizing. It's also a form of, you know, psychological and narrative warfare. As I know, you know, Dr. Law, you've talked about that a lot as well. But that type of, you know, that's what the Zionist state does, right? That's what they're good at. And so I think for us, it's really important also to get out those specific demands, like I said, right? Cutting off the military funding with the IOF, and the Israeli Ministry of Defense, and then raising up the broader complicity with MIT with this genocide and ongoing and occupation, not only the current genocide that's going on, but the decades-long occupation of Palestine as well.
Austin Cole, thank you so much for you know, everything that you do all of the time, but particularly thank you for being a student of conscience and just continuing on in the fight. Everyone, please go to all of the links that we gave you to support the students at MIT, and we'll continue to be watching this situation as it goes on. So Austin, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Much.
Thank you very
y'all
much.
so much. Appreciate you.
Good luck with everything. Peace. Yeah. Right on.
Remix.
I thought it was gonna be a break. Wait. Was that gonna be a break?
It's gonna be a break. You know, we gotta do a transition, man.
That was the transition. Oh, we gotta do another transition. I thought we were gonna do the transition and you were gonna come on. You okay? Your eyes okay over there?
Like right now, like what I'm doing right now, like transition and I'm gonna come on.
But not, you brought us on without you on. Here's what you do in the future. You do that little music thing, and then you pop on. Don't you dare take me off the screen. Don't you dare take me off the screen. I saw that hand. And you come back on without us and start the break.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I seen production by Ricky in the chat room. Now production by you. I mean, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for keeping me on task. Look out of here. All right. Let's go ahead and take a break, you know, and get back to some more news or something. You know how we do right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's get to a remix on a remix. Y'all ready? Do it like this.
I've been thinking about you.
For what?
For quite a while. You're on my mind every day and every night. My every thought is you. The things you do seem so satisfying to me. I must confess it, girl. Ooh, and I like it. You seem to have my spine every time I take one look at you. Ooh, and I like it. Girl, you're blowing my mind with the things you say to me.
All right. Let me take y'all back to a great year, which was 1988. Off Bismarck's album Going Off. And this song is called Bismarck is Going Off. As you hear in the back, the bed that was laid by R.I.P. Bismarcky. And on top of that bed, you got The Bards. That's right. I Like It. This came out in 1982 off the album All This Love. Big up to Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and get back to it. Right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah.
I
guess
do
I
like
could
these
be.
blends, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess I could be in the middle of that family picture.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I guess.
Good Lord, man, Bonnie. Bonnie was it back in the day, boy. Don't get me started.
I don't even remember Bonnie that much.
She was. I mean, I had the album cover. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Oh, please leave it there, Bing. It sounds like a lot.
Pause.
That sounded like a lot. That was a lot.
That was a lot. Yeah.
Y'all care for y'all know y'all had posters on your walls back in the day, or you know.
It's just the way you presented it. It's just
I know. You know.
Nah. I just don't. Of all the different the groups, I remember the Silvers. Y'all remember the Silvers?
She said end the show. I literally have a Silvers record. For some reason, that's one of the albums that survived my childhood. It's downstairs. I have a Silvers album downstairs.
My sister loved, I think Foster Silver was their Michael Jackson for their group or whatever. Like in Right On magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, Right On? They was in Right On?
Was it Right On? Was it Right
you
On
think
magazine?
Jet? I mean,
No,
Right On wasn't even out then, was it?
For the Silvers, it was because you said the posters. She had the pictures all up on. We shared a room. She had the pictures all up on her side of the wall of Foster Silver, left and right and shit like that. So it was definitely Right On magazine. That was the youth one. That was for like the teenagers or preteens magazine back in the day. So
y'all ain't had no posters on your walls?
I
had hieroglyphics, y'all. Let's bring back Jackie.
No,
I remember I had one poster of a sports car with a woman in a bikini, and my mother made me take it down. So I never had stuff like that. My mother was like, you can't.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. She was very forward in some areas. She was like in terms of overt, aesthetic. She was like, I understand you're gonna do what boys do, but it's gotta be everything gotta be on the very low and so no.
Growing
I
up
don't
in this house.
I don't want to see. No, it was just like, I know you're going to look at this and that, but make sure it's tucked away. It's over here. There's nothing on the wall. It was, so what was on the wall was always appropriate, sports and whatever. I remember she got me the headline. It was apparently at one point you could get the gift where you could get the front page of the New York Times from the day you were born.
Mm-hmm.
So she got me one of those, like stuff like that. It was no.
You didn't have Farrah Fawcett in her bikini.
No, I would know. It would have everything would have had to been under the mattress or in the closet or whatever. It was nothing could be. It was no.
My first posters were Bruce Lee posters, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
that I would have been good with something like that. Yeah,
karate stuff.
I could see Led Zeppelin on Jackie's walls.
No, not then. I had Michael Jackson on my wall.
Okay.
I had Michael Jackson and what was the Lakeside? I think it was the lead singer for Lakeside. I cannot remember his name.
Oh wow,
that is the lead singer from Lakeside.
Fantastic. That's
voice.
I think you got to win a
Michael
trivia
Henderson.
prize for that.
What's his name? Michael Henderson. But anyway, yeah, I had some guy named Michael Henderson on my wall. And I don't know why I think he was a lead singer of Lakeside, but I did.
That was a hot song, though.
Yeah,
fantastic voyage.
Yeah.
I
later on,
remember...
after high school, it was punk stuff. I had the Danzig poster.
Oh damn!
Oh yeah, I had.
What's that?
What?
Danzig.
Okay.
The exact opposite of a sexual aesthetic. I tell you that.
Yeah, the precise opposite.
What is it?
It's
somebody in
heavy metal. It's like
Yeah, Danzig was interesting, but anyway, that's another thing. But yeah, I had black folks on my wall in high school. It was after high school that it turned into punk and rock and grunge.
In my 20s and 30s, it all turned into Malcolm. 12 different, How many different ways can I display Malcolm X on my wall? It became that crazy shit.
And now it's this.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you for that brief thing. We reached up to 700 live, so big up to all y'all tuning in and rocking out with us. Let me just put this up here on the screen real quick. Since we got that many people in here, and in case you didn't know, you can support us in certain ways right now. You can also go to Patreon, and you can also support us different ways.
Do the
We still have a
Patreon.
Cash App.
We still got a Cash App, don't we?
Yep, we do. Yeah.
Okay.
We got to check with Jabari on going on with that. Not Jabari.
Jaribu.
Come on, get his name right.
You're right, my man. You're
Really?
right. You're right.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
he's right. I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it.
That's a moment. Okay.
Kamati.
Oh my
Oh
lord.
wow.
Oh wow.
He was on. He was off camera because he had it written on his hand, and he was sitting there.
He didn't wrote it out phonetically.
Phonetically, exactly. Key. He drew a key.
THE.
Ma. With a picture of his mom.
He just changed his name. He just changed it. Ricky Ryan.
It is true. Jaribu did just,
although I
name change up.
Yeah.
But come on, my man.
Yeah, it's my fault. My bad. All love.
Plus,
all love.
they running the budget too, man. Jaribu running
True.
charge of the budget. Better be careful. Be like he's in there right now, like I ain't fuck around again.
I got
holding on the minus scale, yeah.
I got you, Jabari. I got you,
right. I got you with Jabari on my trip to Tahiti, motherfucker. Anyway, oh my goodness, that's hilarious. All right.
Hey, quick question. Quick question
Mm-hmm.
to push, further promote another show here on the Remix One and the Black Power Media. When you and Hiram had this interview, did y'all talk about the white privilege of him being able to have the white privilege to move to the front of the line to fight Mike Tyson? There's so many other people that would have loved to use to fight Mike Tyson.
That particular question got rushed past. I will admit that, because the rest of the white privilege that the Paul brothers are engaging in got more of the attention, including the full colonization of Puerto Rico. But that particular question got just quickly rushed past that. Yeah, but you're right. There's a lot of people who are it seems almost split in terms of professionals. Some are saying he's getting rushed to the front, and others are saying he's going to create more revenue for all of us.
Well, isn't that what part of the rushing is, right? The rushing is that he can pay so much, which is based on his white privilege, that why would Mike step in a ring with somebody else who's not going to be able to, for exhibition?
20 million.
20 million is a lot of money.
20 million.
Yeah.
So what is this white man's burden boxing now?
Yeah.
Adrian Paul has to save boxing.
And all of the boxers with it. Yes, you're right. And I'm sure he would probably claim that.
Oh, definitely. Wow. The moment he gets challenged on white privilege is the moment he starts running down the list of Black, Latino boxers.
Look who I helped.
Right.
Exactly. It's like, look, you can say,
who I helped.
Damn.
And Hiram did break that down, though. He said that's
did.
already working. He's already doing it.
Wow.
He's already doing it. He's already given, he's made more money for the UFC fighters than they've ever made in their career when he fights them. The women on the undercard, Hiram said when in another fight where it got canceled due to injury or illness, he paid everybody anyway. So he's putting that bed of money roses down for everybody for sure.
That's why we need that once a month sports show. Like I watched it.
I was trying, man.
Intrigued. I was like, oh, they're breaking it down.
It is true that people I never hear from have reached out and said, I watched that and I would like more. And I'm like, it's
Hiram's playing games.
Hiram be fun.
Wait a minute. Y'all can't, not Hiram's playing games.
He's playing games.
No.
What do you mean no?
No,
I think
what do you mean no, Kamal? He's playing games.
He's not. You can't. We don't talk about our comrades in this manner. No.
Oh, my bad. He's full of shit right now. You know what I'm saying? He needs
facts.
I'm just saying.
Y'all are no.
Y'all, I'm ducking like everybody else.
You're gonna get lumped in.
Oh, and now we just to cap it all off, it's the Marion Barry slander. Okay, fine.
He needs to do that. He needs to make a little time. He can pre-record. Ain't got to be live. Pre-record it. We need that once a month. This is once a month. Just do that once a month thing. Just start it off that way. You know
I got reached out to by people who want to volunteer to work with that project, to expand, to do that. I'm telling you, Hiram, see, there he is right there, going through a process right now. Jim is going through a process right now. I'm being easy.
Being considerate.
Yeah.
Hiram? Considerate?
Holler at us next month, Hiram.
Those two words don't really go together. I don't think y'all know. The texts I receive, I don't see anything considerate about them texts I receive. I'm just saying.
No, I actually.
It might be about the recipient more than the sender, though. Now.
But I think
man,
I think it would be good. I think a sports show would be great.
We tried to do that early. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think especially when NFL season comes back around, I would love a sports show for college basketball and football. I think that would be great.
And Jackie, the World Cup's coming to the U.S.
Okay, yes, soccer too. Fine. You can talk about that too. But then
no one in the audience is really interested in that. No one.
He be having whole shows on it and shit.
No one.
But I mean, even I do have to admit, I have tried.
Yeah,
I just want to do this. I've tried to watch more football, and
as in NFL.
No, as in soccer.
Soccer.
And also like rugby a lot. I like rugby a lot more. Yeah, I like rugby a lot more than soccer. But soccer, it is compelling.
Because it's more violent.
I mean,
that's why. Tell the truth.
Look, I am who I am. I don't know what you want. So.
No center of gravity, Jackie. Boy, I tell you, boy.
I don't know what it's just, but it's football, soccer is compelling. It's exciting to watch. The matches are long, but
yes, they are long. That is good. They are long.
The matches are long, and I have not been able to watch a whole match yet.
They should make the what do they call it? Is it like just the net? Like where you kick the ball in for the goal?
Into the goal?
Yes.
Goal? It's called the goal. They need to make that like 10 feet bigger.
What?
Taller or wider?
Yeah, I like that. I like that, Kamal.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
First of all,
to improve their game, they need to make it
10 feet
bigger.
That's what everybody wants.
More, so the
more
goalie
points.
Actually run to do something instead of just standing there with his arms out to stop the goal. And make a little taller too, like 3 feet taller too. Something to improve the dynamics of this amateur sport. Something like
amateur. I wouldn't even call it that. I enjoy watching soccer. I do. It's.
But the best part,
game. I just have to get used to. I just commit to watching an entire 90-minute match. Like I don't know what it is. That doesn't seem like a long time, but sometimes it feels like a long time.
It's not a good use.
Like baseball or soccer?
I don't want
to choose baseball over soccer half the time. Maybe
you got to be kidding! Now you're doing too much. Now I'm about to turn all the tables over. You got to be. You cannot tell me baseball. If soccer is boring, you got to be kidding me. Exactly. Give me some James Evans.
I was about to say nothing is as boring as baseball, but yes, there is golf.
Exactly. or some race car driving.
Oh,
man, we used to troll this dude in my Navy unit because he was a big race car fan. And I used to say, all they do is hold the steering wheel to the left and hold it, push to the gas.
Yeah.
And he used to get violently angry.
Unless there's a crash, right? All you really want to do is see the car tumble around.
That's it.
They're real athletes.
Yeah.
They're real athletes. But look, the biggest story is coming up. you got Manchester City just won the Premier League for 4 times in a row, never before done, and they got like 130 charges pending on them for all kinds of financial and scandalous abuses. So all this might get taken away.
Ooh.
They might get turned all the way over.
Now,
That's what I can't wait to
There's
see.
no international soccer league that all the teams play. I know the World Cup happens and all that, but outside of like the World Cup, it's not like there's like a season for like the
Yes,
for
there
all
is.
of them. All of them?
All right. Here's the quick.
Yeah, break this down. This is so annoying. Break this down.
In many there are what are considered the dominant big leagues. You have the English Premier League, you have the French La Liga. I mean, the Spanish La Liga, French Ligue 1, German Bundesliga. Then you might have, people would say you have the MLS here in the US and in Mexico. And you have these leagues where people from individual leagues that have their own sets of teams. Now, if you finish in the top 4 of those big leagues in Europe, not MLS is not part of that. The United States is not part. In Europe, if you finish in the top 4 of your league, you go to what's called the Champions League, where you get all the best teams from all those leagues compete in one main tournament every year.
That's not the World Cup, though.
No, the World Cup is your nation, your country. The leagues are professional leagues where people from all around the world get hired at contract.
All the
to play
Africans play.
All the Africans leave the continent and come to Europe, and the Latin Americans leave the continents and come to Europe. And then they have, by mandate, they have to have to protect themselves. They have to have a certain amount of their local whites in the league. So there's like a affirmative action protective
basketball. That's like basketball. Your 11th and 12th player got to be white. They don't got to see.
Well, now, hey, you missing it. You better root for Ant-Man and everybody else because it's good. It's switching. All the top players in the NBA are white, and you gotta. That's what Cam and Mace tell me. So you gotta root for Anthony Edwards. Because all the top black ball players are either too old or are being outdone by these Europeans. So, but the NBA does not have a mandate where they say you have to have X amount of American players on the team. Whereas in the English, it's like you got to have a certain percentage of British players. In Germany, you got to have a certain percentage of German players. So they protect it's again affirmative action for the whites. Otherwise, their home leagues would be all black and brown, and they would be.
So when quotas are good, basically,
exactly. And they should make the ball bigger.
You need to relax. You really need to relax now.
It should be out here.
Like
a kickball. A kickball.
You like at the beach and there's that ball, or like when you in the crowd and that ball is all in the stands.
The beach ball.
They should do one of those things. That makes it more exciting and shit. That would make it more exciting.
This is why they call Brooklyn a planet, because you just want it to go off into the galaxy on its own. Push it outward into the outer limits.
You got to see how happy Jared looks right now, being able to talk about
this
this
much
right
soccer in one segment. He explained. I was like, "Oh shit!" I had no idea about any of that. Like that.
Yeah, because we could tell you really didn't care, but you were just like, "Go ahead and keep talking." But
you said, "I know he's asking questions for other people in the audience. I'm talking to them."
Oh yeah,
I wanted to bring him joy.
Ask him out.
I wanted to bring him joy.
Okay.
Wow. Brotherly love.
Pause.
Oh man, one day we'll run towards loving each other.
I don't.
Oh my god.
We'll never grow up. We're Toys R Us kids. We came from the Toys R Us era. We never grow up. Oh my god. Hey, I was wondering if y'all had another story, but
I don't know. I mean, can we do another? Is there another story?
Oh my god.
We're gonna make it light. Wait a minute. Before you bring up your story, Jackie. It's gonna be something serious or something light?
No, it's something kind of light. I think.
Okay. I only want light. Yeah, that's only do. I mean, you can't do nothing serious right after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He knows
You're
light.
right. I agree. Where is it? Okay. So I didn't pay attention to the beginning of this mess, but apparently what had happened was Marjorie Taylor Greene and Representative Jasmine Crockett got into a cat scratching fight in chambers, and apparently reports are that there was alcohol involved. Like,
oh, word! I never heard that one before.
Like, I guess
liquor in Congress.
You don't even understand. You don't. Almost everybody's got a little something in their drawer, and the big wigs have the little sets in their office. Please, come on, these people are drinking on.
Didn't they find that envelope of Coke in the White House recently, not too long ago? Yeah. They partying up.
Winter was back. Winter.
So apparently, what's her face? Marjorie Taylor Greene said something catty about
her eyelashes.
Yeah, her false eyelashes, and
she said, apparently you can't read something like you can't read through those eyelashes.
Wow.
She just went in. Just went in.
That's hostility right there.
Yeah. And then
is this a video right there?
Wow.
Please do the
Is
video.
she making a muscle?
Y'all don't know what's on this video, so I don't know if y'all really.
I don't know.
It might not
I don't
be.
know. I did not watch that video.
Try the video.
So I don't want to click on it.
Try the video.
No. Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna find one. Come on, that.
Okay, let's see.
Those was bars she had though. You gotta hear.
No, the other one shot back, and then she shot back at her.
Okay, is that the video? No.
AOC was involved. Is that what you're saying?
No, she tweeted back.
Oh,
he tweeted back at her.
Well,
she was there she was there at the hearing.
And then and then Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to talk to her, and she wouldn't talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it was just a lot. It was just a lot. But anyway.
What's the anyway? Play the video.
We got a thumbnail. We got a thumbnail for this tomorrow, but go ahead.
No, play the video. Somebody find that video. That I need to see that video. I have not seen the video.
I haven't either, but since y'all asked,
see.
No, just mute the commercial. It'll be over in a second. It's over in 8 seconds. Patience.
Director.
Timestamps.
I've not seen it, so that's why I
Welcome
want
to the
to see
Final Five on this Thursday night. I want you to know that right now on the other networks, there are late night shows that recorded themselves at 5:30 and went home. So you will not see what we're about to show you on any other channel except for right here on
the competition hate.
Because we love you, our viewing public.
They're not live like us.
Tonight at a House Oversight Committee hearing, they got way more heated than it
that
needed
widescreen.
to be.
Okay, here it is.
The hearing was supposed to happen earlier today, but like some other
the
things,
setup is taking too long, which means the video is
gaggle
going to
of
be short.
congressmen and women can go up to New York City and sit in on former President
Hit
Donald
that
Trump's
widescreen,
trial.
Jackie.
Everyone made it to the hearing in the district just a few hours ago, and it didn't take long for the tensions to boil over.
Hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this special nighttime episode, we resume the madcap comedy mystery series called Comer's High Crimes and Misadventures, the hilarious quest to impeach a president who has done nothing wrong, an avowedly low-budget but multi-million-dollar taxpayer-funded production, which most Americans assumed had
I'm not
ended
mad
2
at this
months ago
delivery and
and
setup.
completely forgotten about.
So much.
But tonight, with the cast and crew now fresh back from a surprise
You mean
trip
like
to
the
New York
January
City,
6th committee?
She
I'd like
just
my time
jumped in.
restored to me, Mr. Chair.
That person doing the interrupting, of
There's gotta
course,
be
is
more.
Georgia Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Where
who
did
was
she
at
make a
the
muscle?
hearing
She
tonight.
was making a muscle.
Well, you the one talking about. I
think.
Ooh,
Wait, hold on.
I think your fake eyelashes are.
Yeah. Not all the way.
You know what we're here for?
It's not. And I just.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
hold
on. Listen.
Wow.
Order, Mr. Chairman. Would you regain order of your committee? Order, please. There's a point of order. We have a point of order.
So
There's more. There's more.
Break down the B's.
Now, insulting someone's eyelashes is not exactly how one would expect a house.
That was
Are your
racist.
feelings hurt?
Her words
Oh!
down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't
It-
even play.
Baby girl?
We're
I
gonna,
don't
sound
we are
like
gonna
someone.
move and we're gonna take your words down.
I
Thank you.
second that motion.
Girl, baby, girl.
Oh, wow.
Insults are being aimed at.
Fox
No.
News.
Yeah,
Okay.
go
Nothing
there.
to do
Well,
with the
this
exchange.
is-
It was Jasmine Crockett.
This is Crockett's response.
She's correct.
What now?
Stand your ruling. If someone on this committee
Here we go.
then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
Chairman,
I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's a
Hold on.
part
I'm
of the.
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to
I
strike
had
those
no idea what
words.
you just said.
Oh, you did.
You do know what she said, B.
That's it. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
that
Take
was
it.
That's it.
Hey,
So,
good thing the leadership of this country is in such good hands. I feel much better. This is great. It's gonna be smooth sailing ahead.
so the article was pointing out that now Jasmine Crockett is launching what's called a clapback collection. Let me see. Hold on. Get back
A
up there.
clapback collection.
What is that?
yeah.
Like a clothes or a
Yes,
line?
like t-shirts and whatnot. Yes. So Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is launching a clapback apparel collection. After trading barbs with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene during a House Oversight Committee hearing last week, Representative Crockett announced via X that you will soon be able to buy clothes with her infamous insults on them. The first item she released was a black t-shirt with the dig she hurled at Greene, bleach blonde, bad built butch body printed on it. The Crockett clapback collection, according to the Democratic Dallas Congresswoman, will feature various swag that includes random things she said.
Now
Profits
it's
will-
getting weird. Now it's
Yeah, now it's getting very weird. Profits will go toward efforts to change the Republican majority in the House. Give me a little time to really get the swag online, etc. But B6 will drop first. Representative Crockett posted, if you have things you want to see come to life, let me know. And of course, B6 is the beach blonde, butch, bad built. But yeah, okay.
Now she's spending too much time on it. It's like it's one thing in a moment.
Right.
In the moment. Like, but you're supposed to be a congressperson. So I don't think I need you kind of doing a whole, like, you're getting out of there and you got to do a whole t-shirt line. But in the moment, I completely, obviously, I think everybody understands. And it's funny how they're breaking down like this. I mean, I wish we had the video of the Taiwan congressional fight. They had, these cats were blowing below. And we seem to be just a few steps away in terms of the disintegration of what they consider to be polite culture in Congress or whatever. So that stuff is getting far more interesting and stuff.
Yeah, and people are paying a lot of attention to it, of course. People are all, yes, Queen Jasmine Crockett, but they don't know anything about her voting record. So
yeah, it's all about that. But at that moment, voting record or not, you're going to be, when you're in a team, pick sides. I mean, you're going to pick her side.
Yeah. But yeah, and just AOC. Yeah, I forgot. I did forget that she was chiming in there, like, "Oh, baby girl," like, sweetheart.
That was the worst baby girl I've ever heard in my life.
Fraud of a fake you.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what she's saying. Like, that didn't sound like from the Bronx at all.
Yep. And with everything that is going on that Congress is not paying any attention to, we do have the comfort and the solace in knowing that our represented officials are making dope ass t-shirts for us now. That's that's some kind of consolation, I guess.
All right. Another Remix Morning Show, y'all. We've done it. We reached almost the 10 o'clock hour. And y'all brought it today. So thank y'all. We're talking to the remixes. Y'all brought it today. So thank y'all for coming through. And then also, y'all on the screen. I mean, I'm going to get to y'all, but the remixes showed out. They got the 700 views and big up to all them. And yeah.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Oh, word. Your man was on some football.
My man stole a bill. This was the Taiwan, the Congress, the opposition. They were fighting. He stole the bill out the hand.
You're not passing nothing.
And raced out of it. And
I'm talking about my accent.
So it's like if I eat the receipt or the contract, nothing happens.
You can't vote on it if you don't have it.
Look at this accent. I love it, Jackie. Continue.
Slow down, Jackie. Slow down. Slow down, Jackie.
Oh.
You got to start the sentence with no.
That's not get you involved in this kind of stuff. Slow it down.
Please don't take your doctor's advice.
Slow it down. Slow down.
No bill.
Get some music.
The lady reporting it. That was so funny though. Okay.
All right, and they all left. We're not gonna be a part of it. All right, I'll play some music. Y'all come back tomorrow morning for Women's Wednesday, and we'll get more into that story as you see the thumbnail coming up. So thanks for the introduction to that. All right, so we are out of here. Let me go ahead and put a little mix on, and we will see y'all tomorrow morning. Peace, people. Let's take it to the West Coast, the best coast to some. We're going to do it like this.
We all have pain. We all have sorrow. But if we are one, we know that there's always tomorrow.
What you do?
Lean on me. We are not slow, and I'll be your friend.
And say what?
I'll help you carry on. Lean on me.
It won't be long
till I'm
gonna need somebody to lean on. We out of here, y'all. Till next time, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It will be on again. Peace.